Good morning, my fellow Bostonians. I'm your anchorman, Joey McRae.
And I'm Assistant Anchorman Dwight McFarland.
Assistant to the anchorman.
Whatever.
Anyways, we have some controversial breaking news. Apparently, there was some retaliation to the T-Acts, which were installed earlier this May.
Before we dive into this breaking news, we need to take a second to discuss the T-Acts. What can you tell us about these T-Acts, Joseph?
Well, I can tell you that they weren't very popular among the colonists. So what happened was they gave the British India Tea Company a monopoly on all tea sales in America, which basically just rose the prices and killed all competition from American tea companies.
Very well explained, Joey. Thank you. Many colonists also thought that the acts were unfair because it punished colonists who help a financially troubled tea monopoly survive through these hard times. The Tea Act also was not the only act enacted at the time. It was part of a large group of acts called the Townshend Acts.
All of these acts angered the colonists. They thought the rights of British citizens were being violated. They had no representation in Parliament, which was not fair.
Let's go to Samuel Smith, who's at the scene at a local Boston port with one of the protesters.
Greetings, Matt. I'm here live at the Boston Harbor, and you wouldn't believe what's going on. There are a group of Indians aboard the East Indies ship. They are destroying and dumping the tea into the harbor. It is absolute anarchy. Here's one of the protesters dressed as an Indian. So, who are we talking here today?
I'm Joe Miller.
And what brought you to the harbor?
I'm protesting the King's tyrannical tea acts that are destroying my rights as a colonist. I do not even see myself as British. Why should they force us to help their stupid company called the East India Company?
So exactly what did you decide to do about it?
Me and my fellow patriots ransacked their disgusting East India ship and poured all the tea into the harbor.
Well, if you say you're patriots, how can you dress up as Indians?
I'm not trying to get called for treason and be hung. It's more of a disguise.
So, what point are you trying to prove?
I'm trying to prove that we have the same rights as the people across the ocean. We deserve representation in Parliament and no taxation on colonial goods without some form of representation in all 13 colonies.
So, do you think that Britain's going to retaliate after your actions?
I hope they do, because we would retaliate against their retaliation of our retaliation to our TX.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Back to you, Matt.
Well, that was an interesting interview. This just in, we reports of a loyalist wants to voice his opinion on the subject.
We bring you live to the self-proclaimed loyalist, Walter Delaney, and his opinions on this topic. Thanks, Dwight. I'm Matt McFarland. So, Delaney, what do you have for us today?
Those so-called sons of liberties are a bunch of delinquents who should be tarred and feathered for their crimes against Great Britain. What they've done is immense disrespect to the Crown and Great Britain as a whole. The Tea Acts made it so that we get the best and top-notch product.
I understand your opinion, but why do you think we should support a non-colonial tea company? Also, why do you think Britain has the right to place taxes on the colonies?
Because we should still have the utmost respect for England, because we are still descendants of them, and they help protect us from forces like the Spanish. We also owe England a portion of our earnings through taxes, because they give us this opportunity to prosper.
Britain isn't here in the colonies, though, and helping us with government and helping us make money. Why do they deserve a part of our earnings?
Enough of this frivolous questions! Long live the king!
Well, there you go, folks. That was the full report on what people are calling the Boston Tea Party. This is CBN News, signing off.
Good night, colonies. We will see you later on our 11:05 talk show.
And always remember, Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Identity theft is not a joke, Joe. Millions of colonies' families are affected a year.
Michael!
I do not, Michael!
Hello, audience. I'm James Moscow, and this is Making of America, with my guest, Mike Hudak.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mike.
Before we get started, I'd just like to say God bless these colonies.
The topic of the night is, do you feel a stronger connection with the other colonies after the Boston Tea Party / TX?
Personally, I do, unless you're a good-for-nothing loyalist. All the colonies are in unified action against the unfair king.
No way, I'm not a loyalist. But I agree with what you said about the collectivism that is on the rise. There's a sense of unity against this tyrannical government across the Atlantic Ocean.
They're just a bunch of money-hungry, unfair, good-for-nothing, self-righteous tyrants.
Couldn't have said anything better myself. You know what really grinds my gears?
Lay it on me.
How they actually tried to force us to buy from the Hard East India Company. The audacity. The audacity.
Why I oughta.
Well, that is all the time we had for today. Tonight.